I'm actually recording this a week in advance right now. So by the time you're seeing this, I've graduated. It's been 4 hours, so I'm probably 3 sheets in the wind right now. Welcome back to another episode of Esoteric Yaps, episode 2. If you missed last episode, check back to last week on the blog, or since this will be uploaded to YouTube, you can actually go back in time and see all the individual videos. I might make a playlist as we keep going. We'll just have to wait and see. Also, peep the hoodie. Just rediscovered this bad boy in my closet. I haven't worn this shit in a good while. Anyways, let's get down to the business. Today we're going to be discussing omens. Omens are when you get a sign from God, the universe, spirits, the ancestors, whatever it might be for you. And it comes into a physical manifestation in the form of like a sign or a symbol that's culturally specific to you or where you're at, like geographically. And it tells you something about the location or something that's about to happen in your life. Not all of them are bad. Some of them are pretty okay. Let's get down to the drawing. So in the last video, we talked about the veil, right? And we had 2 of them, separating physical, metaphysical, and pataphysical. And we're not talking about pataphysics. Cool. Now that you remember that, here's the physical, here's the metaphysical again. My whiteboard's making rattling noises. Kind of scary. Makes me feel like this thing's about to fall apart. This is the veil that we talked about before, which divides what is physical and what is metaphysical. And if you remember in the last episode, I talked about that they actually cross over a lot, where the physical things like rituals or prayer or maybe even like a church service can invoke metaphysical change. And vice versa, where metaphysical, say God, spirits, ghosts, whatever you might believe in, also affect the physical world as well. So they kind of go back and forth. Omens is when something like, let's say God, as an example. For me, that's Tingri. So we'll say an omen is when Tingri sends us a sign to the physical world, trying to tell us something metaphysical. So, hold on, we're going to label this. So you might be driving in the whip. This is my animation for driving in the whip. And then you've been driving for a couple hours, and all of a sudden you see a black dog cross your path. Or maybe you go down the road and you see it in the distance. That is an American cultural omen, where if you see a black dog, it is a sign that you need to rest very soon, or you will enter a fatal crash. I see that, I'm pulling over. I'm taking me a little nap, because what the black dog omen tells us is it's God, for me, Tingri, trying to tell me that I'm overloading myself, and if I keep pushing this way, I'm going to end up in a crash. And there's studies of these omens and cultures, and they're recorded. So Tingri, at least in this context, stays very consistent across all people. Another one, here in America again, because this is where I'm from. You go to your hotel. Oh, 13th floor. I thought, but my tour guide said that I shouldn't have a hotel room on the 13th floor. And you shouldn't. Number 13 in America is super unlucky. Friday the 13th. The 13th floor of a hotel or a business. Basically, the number 13 is just across the board a no-go. It's a no-fly zone. That, for us, for me, is Tingri trying to tell me you should not be in this room, you should not get a hotel here maybe, or maybe even you shouldn't work at this business. Fun fact, I actually had my professor tell me one time that he used to work for an accounting firm, and they worked on the 13th floor of an office building, went bankrupt within a couple years. And he's like, kind of funny, isn't it? It's on the 13th floor, and I'm like, no, for me that makes perfect sense. That like totally checks out. Anyways, this is Omens, and it's also my decoration for the week. Holla at me. I dropped my mic.